Hello!
Ahoy!
Welcome to Bottom of the Stream, episode 18?
Correct.
Of season 2.
I'm Nick.
I'm Adam, and we're here to entertain you.
Yes, we are on our never-ending quest to find gems at the bottom of the Netflix stream.
Exactly.
And we've not done very well at finding them in the last few weeks.
These last few weeks have been painful.
I think you will agree.
Yeah, definitely. You should agree. How have you been this week?
Yeah, not bad. I'm still getting used to our new setup a little bit.
It's still cool though, isn't it?
It's very good.
You've got a new chair?
Yeah.
Because your chair kind of ruined our recording last week.
Yeah, it was a bit squeaky.
Yeah, apologies if there was too much
creaky
squeakiness going on last week.
But we have resolved the situation.
We have. I fixed the chair, and then you got a new one.
Yeah.
So we've now got 3 chairs.
That's all right. We can have a guest.
We've only got 2 microphones.
Well, they can sit on my lap.
Okay, cool. Then they wouldn't need a chair.
Oh, yeah. Damn it.
Foiled again. They'll have to bring their own microphone.
Yeah.
If they want to come on. Have you been watching anything good at the top of the stream this week, Nick?
I have not really watched anything series-wise. I watched a movie the other day.
Oh, yeah? What did you watch?
The Hustle.
Oh, with, what's her name in the comedian woman?
It had Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson, that's the woman I was thinking of.
But the interesting thing was, which I didn't know anything about this movie. I don't think I'd ever heard of it before.
Yeah.
And it was a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Which was 80s film?
I think so.
Michael Caine and Steve Martin?
Possibly.
I think.
I don't know.
Possibly. I haven't seen it for years. And it was, and it turns out it was directed by Chris Addison, who's a British comedian.
Oh, yeah, I know Chris Addison.
He's like a panel show regular, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he also apparently he's directed like 15 episodes of Veep.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. I've never seen that.
No,
apparently it's really good. It's about the vice president, isn't it?
Yeah. It was all right. It was better than I expected. It had some funny bits to it.
Cool.
It's just about these 2 women who go around conning a load of rich people. Set in like the south of France, so it's all very picturesque and
cool,
casino-y and all that sort of thing.
Doesn't sound like my sort of thing.
Oh, it's fine for a Saturday evening to
long hour for
it was good.
Excellent. Anything
What
else?
about yourself?
I have almost finished the 2nd season of Sex Education.
Okay.
Which has been all right. It's not been as good as the 1st season, but it's marginal.
Right.
Because the 1st season's spectacular.
It is outstanding, the first
season.
season.
And it's not quite there, but it's not far off. It's still really, really good.
Yeah.
And
I think that's pretty much next up for me.
It's really good. It's well worth watching. It's probably the main Netflix show that I'm watching now.
Yeah.
And I did stick with Medical Police.
Oh, cool.
It hooked me in the end, and I've done about 8 episodes of that now.
Is it funny?
It's funny.
Okay.
It's wacky.
Right.
But it's funny, and it's really wacky. Like, really wacky.
I definitely want to check that out.
There's a man who's always dressed as a clown.
Good.
It's the other guy from Ballers who's not The Rock.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
He's just always dressed as a clown. But yeah, it's good. It's good fun. I've enjoyed it.
I'm definitely gonna try that.
Last night, sorry, I'm going to change the subject.
No, it's fine.
Last night, I watched something specifically to talk about in this intro.
Okay.
But which I've never done before. I watched What Did Jack Do?
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No.
It was released as a surprise yesterday, but it's only for 17 minutes.
Right.
And it was a short film by David Lynch.
Oh.
And it is starring David Lynch.
Okay.
On his own, interrogating a monkey.
Oh, amazing. About what?
This monkey's committed a murder.
Okay.
David Lynch plays a detective trying to get to the bottom of it. The monkey's murdered a chicken, as far as I could make out.
Right.
The monkey has human mouth and talks, and it is fucking mental.
Okay.
As you would expect from David Lynch.
This sounds incredible.
It's weird. It's weird as fuck. It's proper weird.
So it's literally just them in the interview room?
It's black and white.
Okay.
Just the 2 of them. And a woman comes in at one point and brings them a coffee each.
Right.
I believe they're in a zoo. I'm not sure. It was David Lynch's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
And I believe he signed some sort of contract with Netflix. So he's released this just as like this is what I'm going to do. It's mental.
So from medical police to zoo police.
Yeah.
I like your theme.
He's the only man in it. The monkey, it's like deep fake mouth, where they just like superimpose. And I think the voice of the monkey is also David Lynch.
Probably, yeah. Probably just did it in his garden.
Yeah.
He's probably the sort of guy who owns a monkey.
It's so weird. As you would thoroughly expect, but it's well worth it. It flew by and it was quite entertaining, but I had no clue what was going on. I don't know what was going on.
He's probably got a whole herd of monkeys, hasn't he?
But yeah, I might make you watch it after we finish recording,
Okay.
just because it's so stupid, but it's funny. So that's pretty much all I've been watching this week. Have you
Good.
got any Netflix news?
There's been a pretty big
massive
news announcement this
if you're
week.
into that sort of thing, definitely.
Well, I don't think regardless of whether you are or not, it's
but if you are, then
it's an
huge.
important move from Netflix. So
Definitely.
they have announced that over the next 3 months, so February 1st, March 1st, and April 1st, they will release 21 Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah, seven
onto
a
Netflix.
That's massive.
You know, and these go back to sort of the mid-80s.
Yeah, it's not something I'm super aware of. I know a few of the films. Jordan spoke about one of them in our Christmas Day episode.
Yep.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Correct, yeah.
That's coming at some point. But I've never seen any of them, so I'm interested to...
I've seen a couple.
get them watched.
But yeah, I think Netflix have come out on a bit of a bidding war there, because I think Disney were very interested.
Apparently Disney were very
well.
keen in getting them for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Which is coming earlier than anybody expected.
Is it?
They've announced today it's coming on March the 25th, which is 7 days earlier than they originally said.
That's a bit strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Move it a week forward.
Apparently they've moved it a week forward.
Okay.
But apparently Netflix beat out Disney Plus for that, so that's big news for them.
Yeah,
because they were going to be a big thing to attract people in.
Sure.
I imagine they'll get some new subscribers for that.
Yeah. You know, I don't have the list in front of me, but several of those have won Oscars.
Yeah.
And awards coming out their ears.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to watch a couple. I've never watched any of them, so I'm quite interested. I'll watch a couple of them.
Yeah.
Maybe if there's some that are not quite as popular, we'll get one on here.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be up for that. Or maybe a bonus Patreon episode. We could do something.
I'm sure we could do something.
We've never done an animated film yet.
We haven't. That is very true.
I would definitely love to do one at some point.
Me too.
There's not always the biggest selection of them on Netflix.
No, there's not, and that's probably
especially
why
not ones that are a bit lower down the stream.
Yeah, agreed. It'd be nice to do one.
Yeah,
definitely. I've not done the socials.
Oh yeah, well you can do it now. It's perfect
timing.
timing.
Do them now.
Yeah, go for it.
Follow us on Twitter at BOTS_podcast. Follow us on Instagram, the same, at BOTS_podcast. Facebook.com/bottom of the stream, and the website is www.bottomofthestream.com, where you'll find every episode we've ever done and both seasons' stream tables as they currently stand. You can also please support the show by following us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/bottom of the stream, where there's like 3 different tiers of rewards, and we'll send you some cool stuff and get chatting to you, and it's as low as $2 a month you can support us.
Yeah, you can $2, $5 or $10.
Yeah,
there's various different rewards and bonuses that we'll give you.
Yeah, we've started putting bonus content out there now.
Sure, you'll get your own access to a separate RSS feed.
Yeah,
and you'll get all our
you get early access to
episodes.
the episodes when we can. Super early some days because I pressed the wrong button, which I did this week. So it's supposed to go up on Sunday morning. I put it up on Saturday afternoon because I pressed the wrong button. But yes, early access, bonus episodes, stickers, posters. Also, we've got all sorts going on over there. So go and check us out. Patreon.com/bottom of the stream. If you can't support the show financially, go to Apple Podcasts or Podchaser and just leave us a review.
Yeah, every review or rating helps.
Yeah, it really does.
And we appreciate all the ones that we've got already.
Definitely, yeah. And that'd be really good.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good.
Were you calling me excellent then, or were you just saying excellent?
I don't know, just as a turn of phrase, really.
Well, I am excellent. Cool. Anything else to talk about?
Well, before we get into this film, I do have a game.
Excellent.
2 weeks in a row. Don't get used to it. But
you've got some spare time on your hands.
I've got this on the back of a post-it
I noticed you've wangling a post-it note in front of my face.
So that's what we're going to do. So what's the film we're looking at this week?
It's called The Babysitter.
The Babysitter. So a babysitter, that's kind of like a good example of almost a first job, isn't it? Or a Saturday job.
Yeah.
You know, you're finding your way in the world of work. You want a bit of pocket money.
Definitely.
So I have got a list of famous people.
Okay.
And I've got a list of jobs. And
Okay.
you have to tell me, is the job really the first job that they had before they were famous?
Okay.
Or is it made up?
Cool. Okay, I can go with that. Have you got a name?
Working or shirking?
Nice.
Okay. So, right, who should we start with? Let's go for Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Was Whoopi Goldberg a bricklayer?
That seems so random, but it's possible, I guess.
Worker or shirker?
Worker.
Correct.
Really?
Whoopi Goldberg
Started as a bricklayer.
was a bricklayer.
That's impressive.
Good start. Meghan Markle.
Okay, yeah.
Was
Very
she?
topical.
Yeah, very much so. Was she a calligrapher?
Oh, no. Shirker.
I'm afraid it's true.
Oh, really?
Worker.
Wow.
Yeah, she used to work, doing invitations and all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
Can I just say as well?
Yeah.
I don't want to get serious too often, but if you want to leave the royal family and go and find your own way,
just fucking leave
fucking go for it. Good on ya.
Yeah, I agree.
All power to them.
Couldn't agree more.
I think it's absolutely scandalous the amount of shit that they're getting.
Especially how he's been treated during his life by the media. You can understand why he doesn't want to get involved.
There's a definite age thing going on here.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they get all this scrutiny for doing that, yet you have an alleged sex offender sitting in the palace, and he gets a minor few headlines in the paper.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. Rant over. Okay, 1-1.
Good luck to him.
Yes, very much so. 1-1. Right, okay, we've got 3 left. So, tell me, Sylvester Stallone.
Okay, I know him.
Professional coffee taster.
Coffee taster?
Yeah.
Is that even a job?
Well, someone has to test it and taste it, I guess.
Worst nightmare of a job.
I love the smell of coffee.
Me too.
I do drink coffee, but the smell is better than the taste.
Yeah, I agree. I don't drink it, but I do enjoy the smell of it. Sorry, Harrison. No, shirker.
Correct. It is false.
Yeah, that's not a real job.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think it is a real job.
Okay. If there's anybody out there listening who's a coffee taster, please
You've got to have some sort of,
that's true.
You've got to have some sort of quality control.
I guess so. But once you've tasted it once, it's like somebody's tasted Nescafe Gold Blend once, but surely it just still tastes the same after that.
Yeah, but they experiment with all
I suppose.
concoctions as they're coming up with.
Seems like an easy job. Apologies if you're a coffee taster and it's a really difficult, stressful job.
Oh yeah, but you're sure you've got to have a very refined palate and nose. I guess so. Anyway, you got it right. 2-1 to you. So, right, we've got 2 left. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. I've just been speaking about him in a different episode.
Jeff Goldblum used to be a jigsaw designer.
Okay. As in a jigsaw puzzle?
Yeah.
A jigsaw tool?
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Worker.
No.
Oh.
I made that one up.
He's just crazy though, isn't he? So I just thought that might be a good job. You made that up?
Yeah.
Where did jigsaw designer come from?
I just thought it'd be, what's a weird thing to do? Someone must do it.
I guess so.
Anyway.
Cool.
2-2. Right. This is the decider. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. I watched him in a film the other night at the cinema.
What was that?
The Gentleman.
Oh, okay.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Best film I've ever seen Hugh Grant in.
Really?
Yeah.
You've not seen Paddington 2, have you?
No.
Okay,
but he's not in that, is he? It's just a voice in that.
No, isn't it?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's the main villain.
Okay. Fair enough. I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. I went to the cinema as well. I forgot to mention this the last couple of weeks. I went to see Star Wars.
Oh, what did you think?
It was bang average.
Yeah, I would say it's good. But
it's lost all its specialness for me.
Yeah. It's a good film, but it's just meh.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't like...
I went 7 out of 10.
I'd more have a 5 or a 6.
Oh, that's harsh. I rate highly because of all the shit we watch on it.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't like the Carrie Fisher bits where, like, she'd be talking to Rey, and Rey would spout a load of stuff, and then Princess Leia would just go, yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And every time she said Rey, it was exactly the same word. They just used it every time.
It's a very honourable thing that they did, but I think, maybe less would have been a bit more. Yeah. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, sorry.
What was I saying?
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. Right, for the win. Matthew McConaughey, or however you say his name.
McConaughey. I don't know.
Armadillo murderer.
What?
Armadillo murderer.
That's not a job, but maybe it's like pest control.
Yeah, like culling
armadillos.
Yes.
Yeah, you've not made that up. Real.
He's from Texas.
Yeah, it's real.
It is real.
Even you're not mental enough to make that up.
He was an assistant greenskeeper on a golf course.
And he had to murder armadillos.
He said the best bit about it.
The best bit about it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Was picking off armadillos.
How do you murder an armadillo? Do you have to
with a gun, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose you have to because they're quite armoured. Armoured dillo.
As opposed to the non-armoured dillo.
Yeah, they're just dillos.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Congratulations.
I've won another one.
3-2, yeah.
Well,
a bit closer.
I don't think I've lost one for ages.
Good.
Done?
Yeah.
Should we talk about the film?
Let's.
Cool, let's do it. Right, this week we watched a film called The Babysitter, which is a comedy horror film from 2017. It is a 15, it is 1 hour and 25 minutes long, and it's currently rated at 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb, which is quite high for one of our films. Stars a guy called Judah Lewis, who plays a guy called Cole, who you will know if you have watched The Christmas Chronicles on Netflix.
Yep.
Also stars Samara Weaving, who plays a lady called Bee, who is Australian, and you know what we do with Australian actresses and actors on this show.
Has she been in Neighbours or Home and Away?
She has been in 336 episodes of Home and Away.
Wow.
Yeah. She's also in Free Billboards Over Ebbing, Missouri, which was a really highly rated film a few years ago. I've not seen. And most recently, she was in a film called Ready or Not, which I have not seen, but I was really devastated to have not seen it.
What's that?
Apparently, it's really good. It's a horror film, I think.
Okay.
Came out last year. It's supposed to be really good. Also stars a guy called Robbie Amell, who plays a character called Max, who we have met before on the show.
Yeah, he was in When We First Met.
He was indeed.
Which we reviewed in season 1.
And I think this is a first. It's also got somebody else who we've met before on the show.
Okay.
A guy called Doug Haley, who was in Hotbot. Who was the main kid from Hotbot.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a film where we've had two characters who have been in two different films on the podcast.
No, I don't think we have.
So that's a first. He's not in it for long. He plays like a...
Nerd.
Same
as he did in Hotbot.
Do you know, I don't know if we mentioned this during Hotbot or not, but he was in his 30s when he made Hotbot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another first, I think, for this show, is that this film later this year is going to get a sequel.
I was reading this.
I don't think we've done a film yet that's had or is having a sequel.
No.
So that's quite interesting.
I don't think we have either. And it is a Netflix original.
Yes, it is a Netflix original, directed by McG. McG.
So can you remember McG was sort of a bit of a controversial figure?
Yeah.
Back sort of 10 to 12 years ago, because his break was Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
And Charlie's Angels 2.
Full Throttle.
Which are okay for what they are.
Yeah.
And then he was lined up to reboot Superman.
Okay.
And it never happened.
How come?
There was a huge, fanboy outcry, basically.
Against him?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't
because he just calls himself by 3 letters.
Yeah, maybe. But he's done a Terminator movie.
Yeah, he did Terminator Salvation. He started off in music videos. He did some music videos for Korn, Smash Mouth, Cypress Hill, The Offspring. He did Pretty Fly for a White Guy by The Offspring, which is probably their most famous music video. So
he now seems to be dwelling on Netflix though.
He does, yeah.
Because he's got this was his first film for Netflix.
Yeah.
He's done Rim of the World, which I've seen the trailer for on my profile.
Yeah,
which I think is a load of kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saving the world. And as you say, he's tentatively down to direct the sequel to this.
It's in post-production.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So I imagine it will come at some point this year or next. I imagine that's going to go straight to Netflix.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this film was filmed in 2015 but wasn't released until 2017 because Netflix purchased it after it was dropped by another studio.
That's never a good sign.
No. It was dropped by another studio. It was supposed to get a cinema release. They dropped it and Netflix purchased it. And it also appeared on the Blacklist in 2014.
Okay, we've had mixed success with Blacklist.
We have. The
scripts.
So if you don't know what the Blacklist is, it's basically a list that somebody compiles every December, I think, of unmade screenplays that should be made. I think that's basically what it is.
Yeah, highly rated
potential screenplays. Yeah, so there's quite a nice few little nuggets of facts there about this film. Do you have a one-word review?
I don't think you're going to like it.
Okay.
Gusher.
That is a horrible word. You're right, I do not like it.
Or gushing, if you want to use the correct.
That's a good one, because that works on both levels. So I'll give you that. So where does the film begin?
It begins with Cole.
Yeah, we meet Cole straight away.
Who is a nerd.
Yes.
He
12 years old?
Yes. I think it says later on that he's 12.
12, yeah. He isn't.
No.
Because he would have been 14 when he filmed it. But
and he's outside his school talking to his friend, who is Melanie.
Yeah.
Who is also his neighbour.
Yeah.
And her dad turns up and he won't give Cole a ride home.
Yes. There was also a scene where he was scared of having an injection right at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, there was, yeah.
He was going to have a shot from the school nurse and he was terrified and didn't like it. I only mention that because it comes up again a bit later on.
He's a very timid
he's
young
a
man.
Young little weed. A bit like I was when I was a kid. So her dad turns up and doesn't give Cole a lift.
He's in the midst of a midlife crisis, basically. He's just bought a muscle car, hasn't he?
Mustang type
because his wife's left him.
Yeah. So he has to walk home because he doesn't get a lift from his mate's dad. And he gets stopped on his way home by 3 young boys on bikes.
Neighbourhood kids,
bullies.
One of them looked like a mini Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
With his
he did. That's a great show.
He had It was a normal size,
Yeah.
but he had this like
Enormous head.
enormous perm.
Yeah.
And it really made me laugh.
Yeah, and they were just being lads, weren't they? They
Yeah.
were just taking the mickey out of Cole a little bit. One of them was bragging that he'd slept with a sophomore. These are like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
But he ends up getting pushed over by one of them, the main bully guy.
Jeremy.
And I'm glad when you write names down because I don't. Yeah, he kind of pushes him down, and this hot girl comes over to rescue Cole.
She does, yeah.
Yeah. And this is B. This is our first meeting of B, who is Cole's babysitter.
She is.
So they're like, there's a few years between them, obviously, but they're mates.
I think instantly they're sort of trying to get across that obviously she has been babysitting him for a long time.
Yeah.
Since he was very young, I presume.
Young. So they've kind of grown up together. She basically gives him some advice that if you ever get bullied, then you should always punch the bully in the dick, which is a great shout. And if a bully's chasing you, you should drop to the floor, let them trip over you, and then kick them in the dick.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that was fun. So she drives him home. She gives him this lift home, and he notices her boobs.
Yeah. He
has this sort of age now.
Somewhat of an awakening,
Yeah,
I think
he
you would call
I don't
it.
think he's ever noticed them before, but he spots them. And when he gets home, we meet his mum, who is under the house.
Yeah, so she's in a crawl space,
Yeah.
which is not really a thing we tend to have in this country under our homes.
No.
But yeah, she's sort of laying all these mouse traps and stuff, isn't she?
She's trying to catch spiders, I think. But I don't know what she's doing.
Oh, no, because later on, where you go back to the crawl space, there are like rats and mice in the traps.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you pointed out the spiders because it's full of tarantulas.
Yeah.
And that's never referenced.
It's not mentioned. It's not like the little tiny spiders.
No, they're just
huge, great big.
Actual tarantulas crawling around in this dusty underneath the house.
Yeah. So she comes out and they have a bit of a chat, and he asks her if she thinks he's a pussy.
Yeah.
And she basically says yes.
Yeah,
in a nice mumsy way. She says it like really friendly to him, but she basically just say, yes, you are.
His mum's played by Leslie Bibb.
Do I know Leslie Bibb?
She is, I don't know if she's married, but she is with Sam Rockwell.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. And then just after that, we meet his dad, who is played by Ken Marino, who is a comedian who you will have seen in lots and lots of
He's in like a sitcom every year.
Yes.
They don't always necessarily get very far, but I recognised him straight away.
Do you know he's in Medical Police?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Good. There you go.
So hopefully that'll go a bit further. And his dad's basically giving him a driving lesson.
Yeah, I think he's either a mechanic or an engineer or design. He's got something to do with like NASCAR because they're basically trying to drive the family car around this track stadium, aren't they? And Cole's too scared to do it, basically.
Yeah, because he's a wimp.
Yeah. Too scared to learn to drive.
Which is fair enough at 12.
Yeah.
I think.
Possibly.
In the next scene, we are back in the house and Cole's built this like Meccano remote control car.
Yeah.
And he's got a knife and he's kind of stabbing it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, but
he's
trying to get something out with this massive, great big like carving knife. And his dad comes in and kind of takes it away from him. And this is kind of the point where you realise that he's quite protected by his parents, and they still treat him like a child when he's actually growing up faster than they're willing to let him, I think. And he grabs the knife and he puts it in the dishwasher to get it off him. I've written Valerie, but the kid's name was definitely Melanie.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
I don't know why I've written Valerie.
Why don't you come on over, Melanie?
Kids are called Valerie.
Not many.
Not many. Yeah, and she's a bit more worldly. They're Skyping, aren't they? And she's talking about, because his parents are going away for the weekend.
Cole's are, yeah.
Cole's parents are going away for the weekend, leaving him with B. And she tells him that your parents are probably going away to have sex. And your babysitter's definitely having sex downstairs when you're asleep. And Cole's not having any of this. He doesn't believe it, but he decides that he's going to kind of wait.
He's sort of prompted by her, but she sort of says, "Wow, you should stay up and see what she does when you've gone to sleep."
Yeah,
I bet she's having a wild party.
Yeah, and so
I bet there's orgies going on. She says.
Yeah,
and he has to Google orgy.
Yeah, he has to Google what it is. And anyway, the next day he goes to school, and there's a scene where he gets hit by a football. Which is the second time he's got hit by a ball in the school. Yeah. Because he got hit by a basketball at the beginning. And it's just basically showing him that nobody respects him and he's still quite a young 12-year-old. But then we get to the night time where his parents are leaving. They're about to...
The house was so blue. Did you notice?
It was.
It made me feel a bit sick.
Every room was blue, wasn't it?
It was almost like... Have you ever seen The Cat in the Hat?
Yes.
Mike Myers movie.
Yeah.
And that's all those houses are like green and like Dr. Zeusy.
Yeah.
And the decor of this house reminded me of the houses in that. It was really odd.
Yeah, I hadn't really noticed it, but now you've said it.
It was so blue. Everything was blue. It was just really odd.
Off-putting.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking of off-putting, this scene's a bit out of place in the film for me because B turns up to babysit, and the whole scene's shown from Cole's perspective.
Yeah.
Like as if Cole is the cameraman. But then they don't do that again.
No.
And I was like, why have they done that? It really threw me off.
There was some really inconsistent devices used in this.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a bit like watching Peep Show.
Yeah.
It was like everybody was talking directly at the camera. Peep Show is a British sitcom, I'm sure everybody's heard.
They did a bit of that later on when he was running, and so he had the camera attached to him.
That was again something different because he was looking into the camera then, but this time it's the camera's as if it's his eyes.
And there's all sorts of things done. We'll come on to it. Done with like not subtitles, headings in this film.
Visual clues and
just are there and then they're not there, and it was at times it was very messy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But yeah, let's carry on.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I've just written that its perspective's weird. So the parents leave. They clear off and go on their weekend away. I don't know where they were going. Don't think it ever says where they were going.
They were going to a Hyatt.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, it did say that. Yes, you're right. Okay.
At an unspecified location.
Yep. And you get a bit of a montage of B and Cole kind of hanging out.
That's well done, actually.
Yeah,
I thought this first 15 minutes did a good job of setting up their chemistry and their relationship.
Yeah.
So definitely. You get a montage. We haven't had a montage for a few weeks.
That's true. We haven't. We haven't watched a good film for a few weeks. Maybe montages that only come in good films.
Are they two mutually exclusive?
Maybe.
So they dance.
Yeah, they have a bit of they rock out a little bit.
Yeah.
They go swimming into the pool.
And again, she sort of takes her
you get a lingering
top
shot
off in slow motion.
Yeah, her top coming off and
getting into a bikini. And they make some pizzas.
Yeah, they make homemade pizzas and they're having a bit of a chat. And they've got this thing about space films and alien-y type films.
Yeah, it's like who's your sci-fi dream team, basically.
Intergalactic dream team, I think they call it.
Yeah.
So he has her to pick his and hers, and they go. And they're basically just hanging out. It's basically just building their relationship and who they are. And it gets to nighttime and they sit outside and watch a film that's projected onto the garage wall.
Yeah.
So they've got some cash behind them, this family.
It's an odd neighbourhood, this is.
Yeah.
Because if we went outside now
yeah,
and projected a film on your house.
Yeah, we could do it. I've got a projector.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure the neighbours would say something quite quick.
Yeah.
And then everything kicks off later. There's not a soul around.
Yeah, that is. I did think
around
that.
All these houses.
Yeah, it's people screaming and everything,
which is a bit convenient.
Yeah,
but
hey ho, it's one of these, isn't it? And they have a bit of a touching moment because he says to her, "Do you think my parents are getting a divorce?"
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where that came from. I think he's just scared of losing them. I don't know
because that's definitely not hinted at up until now.
Not at all
with their relationship that we see.
Yeah, and.
This kid's unsure of his place in the world, isn't he? He's starting to have those feelings and
the same,
yeah.
So it comes to bedtime, and she decides, "Oh, we should probably have shots."
Yeah,
which was a little bit out of the bit out of left field. So she pours him a shot and goes back, and he says, "You're not having one." So she goes back and pours her own. And then when she goes, he pauses into the pot plant.
Yeah,
he obviously doesn't want to be drinking alcohol at 12 years old.
He's too. Yeah, it's supposed to show actually He's not got a bad bone in his body. He's too scared to even do this.
Yeah. So he pours it away, and she thinks he's drank it before she got back, so she berates him a little bit and then does the shot herself. And this is when it comes out now that he's going to try and stay awake and see what she's doing after he's gone to sleep. And before he goes, there's a really weird line as well, before he goes to sleep, because he says to her, "I want to feel normal, but I just feel weird all the time." I think that's like the best way to describe a 12-year-old I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's how every 12-year-old feels.
Yeah.
So he stays awake and eventually the doorbell rings.
Yeah, so he's by this time he's gone to his bedroom, he's gone to bed.
She thinks he's asleep.
She's downstairs.
She's downstairs. The doorbell goes and that's where the orgy thing comes in.
Yeah.
Because she says...
He hears a load of people come in downstairs.
Yeah, so she says... So he's texting his mate, isn't he?
Yeah.
Valerie. And she says, "Oh, they're probably having an orgy."
Yeah,
and so he has to Google what that was.
So he kind of sneaks downstairs. Well, not all the way downstairs
to the top of the stairs, doesn't he? So he can kind of see out
on the landing.
And this is where we meet B's friends, who are a band of slasher film stereotypes, I think is how you would describe them.
I think that is fair.
Like complete and intentionally as well.
This
film knows exactly what it's doing. So you've got a cheerleader, you've got a jock, you've got a nerd, you've got a black guy, you've got
an
stereotype. An Asian guy.
No.
Oh, an Asian lady.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were correcting me.
No, it wasn't. No.
Don't say black.
No.
And so we kind of meet, and it comes up, doesn't it, on the screen what they all are. It's like nerd and jock and all these.
Yeah.
And this is where we meet them all. And they start playing Spin the Bottle. Well, I think it's Spin the Bottle, Truth or Dare, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And B gets dared to kiss everyone in the room, which she does. She starts kissing them, and
to a degree.
Yeah.
She makes out with the hot cheerleader.
She makes out with the hot cheerleader.
She just licks John's face.
She licks John's face and makes her way around. And she just kisses the Asian girl on the forehead.
Yeah.
But Cole's loving this. He's really enjoying watching this show of what's going on. And the nerd guy, who is Doug Haley from Hotbot, says he doesn't really want to get involved.
He's obviously new to this group.
He says he doesn't know them very well. Yeah. And they all kind of like peer pressure him into it a little bit.
Yeah.
And he stands up and kind of backs away a little bit, and she goes with him, and she's
like,
not going to let him go.
Pretend these aren't here.
There's nobody here, and they start kissing. And what happens when they start kissing, Nick?
So they have a bit of a smooch, and then B kind of
did not see this coming.
Pulls back, and she raises her hands over the nerd, who I think is called Samuel, over his head, and she plunges 2 daggers right into his head. And this is where the gushing starts.
Yeah. So one of them gets pulled out, and they all gather around quickly and try and collect his blood into 2 little like goblets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I did not see this coming, and Cole certainly didn't see it coming because he was freaking out at the top of the stairs. And as one of the knives gets pulled out of his head,
so one side is gushing,
one side's just
and the other side isn't really. It's just seeping.
Not releasing anything.
So John's on that. John is on the side. He sort of taps the guy in the head, and then all this blood just sprays all over him.
Literally gets absolutely covered in it. Cole's seen everything.
Yeah.
So Cole's witnessed that, and he starts freaking out. And B gets out this like really old book.
Yeah, she's got like a manuscript, basically. Well, it's not even that. It's a load of scrolls, basically.
Yeah. It's like really, you can tell it's really, really old. And she says it's a book of satanic verses. But before that is useful, they need to head upstairs to collect the blood of the innocent.
Yes.
So, which obviously makes Cole freak out even more because he's just sitting at the top of the stairs like agog, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, and in the background, Max, who is the jock.
Yeah.
So that's Robbie Amell's character. Yeah. He's doing all like Weekend at Bernie's shit with Sam's dead body.
Yeah, he's
like puppeting him around a bit.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy.
Psychopaths, yeah. And so they kind of head upstairs. So Cole rushes back to his bedroom as quickly as he can and gets into bed, pretends to be asleep. And they all head into his room.
I think he calls the cops first.
Does he do that first?
Yeah, as they're removing the body and stuff like that.
As they're moving around, he calls the cops and he ties some sheets together and tries to get out of his window, but doesn't have a chance to do that. And so he gets back into his bed and pretends to be asleep, and they all come into his room. And obviously they think he's drugged because of this shot.
Well, yeah, B says, well, yeah, I've drugged him. He's not waking up. Don't worry about it.
But obviously, remember, he didn't take the shot. Yeah. So he's lying there, and we know already that he's got a fear of needles from this first scene that we saw. And so he's got to pretend to be asleep, but he's also at the same time freaking out because he's about to be syringed. They're not going to kill him. Well, they're not at this point not going to kill him. They're just going to take his blood. So they get this syringe and they plunge it into his arm and take some of his blood.
I thought he was good, the kid in this.
I thought he was excellent.
What was his name, did you say? Jonah
Lewis, I think.
I thought
Judah.
Sorry. He did. I thought he did a good job.
I honestly think he's one of the highlights of the film. I thought he was really good. For a kid who was he's 18 now, so if this was filmed in 2015, it'd be like 13, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think he had a lot, obviously, he had to carry a lot of this on his shoulders.
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
I thought he did really well.
Yeah, I agree.
He was funny when he was required to be funny, but then, he did the whole scared stuff.
He's definitely the main character in this film.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all on him. He carries it all the way through.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I agree.
With him.
He's really good in the Christmas Chronicles as well, though.
Yeah.
That's a really good film.
It is.
Don't watch it now until next Christmas. That'd be weird. But if you're not seeing it, go and watch it next Christmas. This is the point where he ties it, because they all leave then, and this is the point where he ties his sheets together and tries to escape out of his window. But B is suddenly behind him.
That made me jump.
It made me jump a little bit as well, because it looked like she'd left, but she'd hidden behind the door. But he just passes out. Was there something on the syringe, or they mentioned something about his blood pressure being low?
I think she said later on that because she clocked that the window was open.
Yeah.
and it wasn't open before, so she thought something was up. And then she knew he was scared of needles once she thought, oh, he might be awake. So she just hung around in the room. Yeah.
But it doesn't explain why he passed out.
No.
But he did anyway.
Well, no, they said, oh, I think your blood sugar might be low, because they force feed him a cookie later on, don't they?
That's true. And he wakes up and he's tied to a chair in the lounge.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of standing around him. Max has got his shirt off.
Yeah.
Because he's the jock. And that's the very first thing that Cole notices. So he's kind of tied to this chair. He wakes up and he's like,
seen this guy get murdered.
Yeah. And he's like, why has he not got a shirt on?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? That's the first thing you notice? And that's when they force feed him a cookie. Because they say, your blood sugar must be low because you passed out. And he's kind of tied to the chair, but he's got his pocket knife. He's got his trusty pocket knife.
So he's doing the old trying to cut his way out of the ropes behind the chair.
But unfortunately, there's a mirror behind the chair. Yeah. And they can all see exactly what he's doing.
That was nice. I've never seen that done before.
There's some real charming moments in this, and I think that's one of them. But anyway, just as that whole is kicking off, the cops show up, because Cole called the cops earlier. And they everybody's kind of freaking out, aren't they?
Next 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, best bit of this film. Highlight for me.
It's right up there.
The ensuing chaos I found really funny, actually.
Yeah, I agree. So the cops turn up, they knock on the door, and just as they do, Cole starts screaming for help, and Max just runs over and kicks him right in the chest.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looked like it really hurt. Kicks him flying in the chest. And so the cops kind of burst into the room, and there's a bit of a showdown going on. The cops are pointing their guns at them and going, oh, get down, rah, 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 rah. And Max just gets this poker out of the fireplace and just launches it, spears it into this cop's head.
Yeah, straight through his eye. But the cop doesn't go down.
No.
So he's still standing there with this poker
going through his face.
Through his head.
And as he does go down eventually, and as he does, his gun goes off, and the cheerleader catches a bullet in the boob.
Yeah.
Which she's not impressed with that.
No, she shot me in the boob.
What sort of dick shoots a girl in the boob? And so it's all kicking off, and then the other cop kind of cuts his throat.
Yeah.
Because obviously that cop's not got a clue what's going on. He's like, why has my mate just been murdered by a spear in the head? And she cuts his throat, and as his throat gets slit, what's his name? John. He gets covered in blood again. Yeah. Literally, because it starts spurting out like comedy blood splatter all over him again. He's only just cleaned off the other dude.
And he's got a good line, actually, and it is in the trailer as well, but he says it's something like, 1 in 4 people's got an STD or a blood disease, and I've now got 2 people's blood all over.
I've definitely got AIDS.
Yeah.
It says, I've definitely got AIDS. It's really funny. It made me laugh a good few times, this film, but that was the point where it really did. And then there's a horrible bit now, because Max grabs the poker that's in this cop's head.
Yeah.
And he just kind of wrenches it out and rips the part.
Yeah, his whole head just rips apart.
He rips it apart. It's like, that was unnecessary.
And then there's the cheerleader made me laugh, because she all the time she's moaning about being shot in the boob.
Yeah.
And she's got a couple of good lines. She's like, oh, can I stick a tampon in it? In the wound?
Yeah, because they obviously can't go to hospital and they need to stop her bleeding.
And she's just like, I don't want to lose my boob. Who's going to motorboat me now? It's just stupid, but
it was funny.
It was funny.
Then the cops' radios start going off, don't they? And there's like, can you check in and let us know everything's okay? The dispatchers are going. And B knows that Cole used to want to be a policeman, so he knows all the codes.
Yeah, because he's a nerd.
Because he's a nerd, and that's what nerds do. So she says to him, what is the code for all clear? Everything's fine. And he gives her the wrong one. I think he says 1053, which is man down. But she knows that. So she calls him out on it. She's like...
Because she says earlier on, when you look away when you lie.
When you lie, yeah. He's got to tell when he lies. And he looked away. And so he has to give her the correct one, which is 10-4. And Cole kind of gets free at that point. He's managed to cut himself out of this chair. And he legs it upstairs. And John, who is the black guy, kind of follows him.
Yep.
Running up. They have a bit of a scuffle going up the stairs. And when they get to the top, Cole pushes him backwards. And he goes flying over the balcony. Or over the landing. And kind of gets impaled as he lands on a piece of something.
It's a trophy.
Oh, is it the trophy?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Goes right through his head.
Yep. And he's the first one of our crew.
And I don't want to point it out. Well, I've got to point it out.
I think it's intentional, though.
I think it is in this film. But the black guy's the first one to die.
Yeah. Apart from Sacrifice Samuel, which is what they call him later, which
I mean, the first of the bad guys.
Of the bad guys to die. Yeah. I think they did that on purpose. This film's playing up to stereotypes.
I think so. Yeah.
And it's like a twist on the stereotype, twist on the serial killer kind of slasher movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, he's dead. So Cole gets back into his room and he kind of
eventually escapes out the window.
There's
a bit of a heave-ho with Max at the other end of the bed sheets.
But he manages to... He falls off, doesn't he, Cole does, and takes a big back bump to the floor.
Does.
But he manages to get to the garage.
He tucked his chin. It was all right.
Yeah, he's fine. Wrestling terms. He gets into the garage, and in the garage is the nerd guy who was murdered earlier, who they refer to as Sacrifice Samuel, and I really like that. It just works. And he's been put in there just as a bit of safekeeping. And Cole's obviously thinking, I need some weapons.
Yep.
I'm in a garage. It's a good place to find weapons. Gets in the toolbox, finds some bug spray, a lighter, a drill, and a massive firework.
It's a huge firework.
And it's just in the toolbox. But hey-ho. And he knows that there's quite a safe space that he can go to under the house, because that's where his mum was earlier.
Yep.
And this is the point where Sonia goes looking for him.
Yeah, so the Asian lady.
Yeah.
So he gets into the crawl space and under the house, and again, he's facing his fears, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's going
he's
past
terrified of all
the spiders and the rats and the mice. And he sort of backs himself up against one of the walls and covers himself in
he's got one of the sheets, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And Sonia crawls under the house as well, and she's kind of looking for him.
Yeah.
And all the while that you can see her looking for him, but it's from Cole's perspective under the sheet.
Yeah.
And you can see this spider crawling along the top of the sheet right above his head, which he's freaking out about, but he can't do anything.
Because, yeah, I know I'm not exaggerating. It is a tarantula.
It is a big old spider, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big-ass spider. Great film. And she gives up in the end. She's like, oh, he's not under here, so I'm going to go back out.
Yeah.
And as she goes back out, he flicks the spider off the sheet because he can't handle it anymore.
Shot in a million.
One shot in a million. This spider lands in a mousetrap, and the mousetrap goes off. So she kind of realises that he is still down there. She puts both of her hands into mousetraps herself.
Yeah. No, that's because he sprayed. Because when she gets back to the sheet, pulls the sheet back, and he sprays her in the eyes with the bug spray. And then she can't see.
Then he lights the firework.
Yeah.
And he shoots the firework at her.
Misses
completely. This firework lodges itself into the wall behind her. And that's when she freaks out, puts her hand down and puts it in the... Yeah, okay.
So he kind of skirts past her and gets out.
Yeah, because she's like, my hands are in a mousetrap.
She's still blinded and mouse-trapped under the crawl space.
Yeah, and he uses the drill to shut the vent grill. Drill grill for the crawl space. So she's kind of locked in there now. And so she's like screaming at him to get out, and he sprays her with more bug spray. But as he's spraying the bug spray, the firework must ignite the aerosol, and there's a huge explosion, big ass explosion, and Sonia gets blown up.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to structurally affect the house, but there you go.
No,
because it is a big explosion.
It's a big old explosion, and as Cole he gets thrown backwards into the garden, doesn't he?
Yeah,
and Max is there, and Max looks down at him and says, "Did you just blow Sonia up?"
Yeah,
Which I thought was a really nice
and then he's like, "That's really cool."
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Because Max is like mentoring him as well at the same time. So they have a bit of a chase then, and this is where he pulls off his move that B told him about earlier. So Max is chasing him along. Cole hits the ground just in front of Max. Max trips up over Cole, and Cole gets up and kicks him in the dick. But Max pops straight up and says, "Aha, you missed my dick." Which I don't think he realised was a bad thing.
Yeah.
And Max kind of picks up Cole. And he's got him in like a choke, hasn't he? He's like choking him. But then they hear some like banging going on behind them. And Max is like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Somebody's egging the house."
Yeah. So Jeremy's back.
Jeremy's
the neighbour kid.
Yeah.
And it was mentioned earlier that they've egged the house before.
Yeah, it was.
And Max basically says to Cole, "Right, stop this.
Yeah. Don't be disrespected by that little bitch."
What are you doing? He said. Go and sort this out.
Yeah.
He says, "Go and wreck his ass."
Yeah,
is the terminology.
Basically, he's mentoring him to try and make him but he's going to kill him. Yeah. But he's mentoring him to make him a better person as well. Cole kind of goes out and confronts Jeremy.
Yeah,
but
he tries to roundhouse kick him in the head.
It does.
Misses, falls over.
Yeah,
and while he's laying on the ground, he sort of says to Jeremy, "Look, my house is full of mass murderers.
There's bodies everywhere.
I need help.
There's a guy over there watching us. He's going to kill me. Help me."
Yeah, and Jeremy's like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And then just eggs him on the head.
Just breaks an egg on his head.
And leaves.
And he just leaves, yeah. And then Max kind of comes up to him, doesn't he? And he says, "You talk too much. You're never going to get people like that. You need to kill him, basically." But Cole slaps him in the face.
Yeah,
which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, and Max is like, "Oh, I like it."
Yeah, well done.
Because he's into the gamesmanship of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Cole runs off again, and he climbs the tree in the back garden.
Yeah.
There's sort of the remains of the tree house.
Yeah.
Again, which was referred to earlier, that him and his dad have been taking this tree house
he's too
down.
old for it.
He's too old. So, it's this whole growing up thing again.
Yeah.
And but like the platform's still there.
Yeah.
So Cole sort of climbs up, but as he's climbing up, he's kicking away the bits of wood that make up the ladder.
Yeah.
And Max is just kind of stalking him.
Did you notice that Max was making the Friday the 13th noises as he was?
Oh no, I didn't notice.
He was like, like from
that's nice. That's nice.
Noises. He was doing that as he was chasing him around. So Cole's up on this platform, and there's no way for Max to get up there now, but he does because he shimmies up a rope.
Yeah,
because he's a jock, and that's what jocks
There's a rope
do.
swing. Yeah.
And so they have a bit of a scuffle on the top of there, don't they?
Yeah.
But the floor kind of gives way because Cole's too heavy. They're both too heavy for it. Max is far too heavy for it, and they fall out. Cole falls out first. Max follows him down, but Max gets caught up in the rope.
Yep.
And hangs himself.
It's the first time he's been well hung.
I wonder if that was intentional.
Yeah, maybe. They couldn't know. They should have put one liner in for that.
Yeah. So Max is dead. So we're down to, John's dead.
And there is definitely a hint of Tucker and Dale versus Evil here as well, in terms of these accidental murders that Cole keeps picking off, how he keeps picking off these the only one he really intended to.
Well, he didn't really intend to kill Sonia, but it just, I don't think he intended to kill any of them. But
yeah, exactly. But he's managed to take care of like three of them
so far. No. And then suddenly a gunshot goes off right next to his head.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, where did guns come from? It's like, this isn't fair. And it's B. She's got this shotgun.
Yeah.
And she's shooting at him. So he legs it. He legs it to his mate's house.
Yep.
Melanie. And she's there, but she's on her own. So
my favourite line in this whole film.
Okay.
Did you pick it up?
Go on.
Because he says, "Where's your dad?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh no, I'm here on my own. My dad's out with a Protestant." It really made me laugh.
Amazing.
Did you not pick that up?
I didn't.
I thought it was really funny.
That is really funny. So they're kind of hiding in her house now. We've gone to a different house, but B follows.
Yeah,
she comes in with this shotgun, and there's a bit of a scene where she's just like chasing them around. It's like walking, chasing.
It's another one of these really convenient movie houses where the whole downstairs is just a circle, basically.
Loads of
open plan,
and loads of hiding spots.
Yeah.
So she's stalking them around the house. She can't see them, but they can see her. And eventually they barricade themselves in the downstairs toilet.
Yeah.
And he says to Melanie, "Call the cops. I can't stay here."
Yeah. And B sort of given up and headed back outside by this.
She's like, "I've got to go and sort this out. Call the cops. Tell them 10:53, and that'll bring them quicker because that means man down."
Yeah.
Which she says okay, and she kisses him. They have a bit of a kiss.
They do.
And he doesn't really know how to handle that.
No.
So he wasn't expecting it. And she's a lot more grown up than he is. Even though they're the same age, she's a lot more mature.
That's girls for you, isn't it?
Yeah. And so he leaves. He runs across the street, doesn't he, screaming, shouting for B to come out and get him.
This is basically, come and get me, here I am, let's finish this, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And he gets back to the house, and there's a really nice little twist here because he walks into the house and everything's immaculate and tidy.
Yeah.
Like nothing's ever happened.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
I thought
it's a piss take.
I was like, yeah. So I wonder if it's all in his head.
Do you remember when we watched I'm so bad at names.
Describe it.
What Keeps You Alive? The two ladies in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And there was that whole scene of the murderess in that cleaning the house.
Yeah.
That's like, I just imagine that's what happened
that's
off camera.
What B had been doing whilst Max was chasing him around the garden. Yeah, there's no blood anywhere. It's all been cleaned up and everything's fine, except the cheerleader's still there.
Yeah, she's still bleeding out in the corner.
She's sitting on a chair in the corner, and it looks like she's dead. So he can't.
Alison was her name.
Was it? I didn't catch her name. I had all the others. So Cole's like, he goes right up into her face, doesn't he? And he's like waving his hand into her face to see if she's still alive. And he flicks her at one point, I think, and she doesn't respond. So he just assumes she's dead. And so he kind of he turns her back on her.
He heads to the kitchen. I think he's looking for weapons again.
Yeah, and but she grabs his leg from behind.
Yeah,
another jump scene. It's quite scary. And she starts wailing on him.
Yeah, she's literally proper beating him around the face.
She's hitting him right in the face. And then he's like, "I'm not having this anymore." And he starts wailing on her boobs.
Yeah, he sticks a finger in a bullet hole.
Yeah, but he's really like power punching them as well. And she calls him a little pervert.
Yeah, she's like, "How can you? What are you doing?
Don't touch my boobs."
Yeah, how dare you do that? She's literally just been trying to kill him. Yeah, that was quite funny because he's like, oh, I don't know how to react
because I was just defending myself.
But then she goes for him again.
Yeah,
tries to kill him.
Yeah, and he's like, knife. I know there's a knife. Where's the knife? And then so you get a bit of a flashback scene of his dad when he put it in the dishwasher. So he's like, the knife's in the dishwasher. So he heads to the dishwasher. Knife's not in the dishwasher.
And it cuts.
Yeah.
To his mum and dad in bed.
Yeah, that was hotel, so weird.
And he's reading a book.
Yeah.
She's giving him a hand job.
Yeah.
And she just says, Did you
put the knife in the dishwasher?
Yeah.
The knives don't go in the dishwasher.
I moved it to the knife block.
Yeah. Just for the record, you shouldn't put knives in the dishwasher. It blunts them.
And then you come back to the cheerleader Alison taking the knife out of the knife block.
She's got the knife. Yeah. It's on her side of the kitchen now. But then suddenly, her head explodes.
Yep.
Because
properly
explodes. Because
brains all over the kid.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes all over him.
Yep.
He gets covered in it this time. And B has come up behind her with the shotgun and blown her head off.
Yeah. She's
like, that bitch was so annoying. Turns out she's found this shotgun in the cop car, which makes sense because we did wonder where she'd got it from. But Cole's got the upper hand now because he's got the book, the old manuscript.
And he's still got the lighter.
Which is Satanic Verses, is what it is. And he's still got the lighter. And he says to her, look, I'm going to burn your book.
I quite like this exchange as well.
Yeah.
Because
every scene with these two in was really good.
He says, she basically says, oh, we're friends, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't set that fire. And he says, you've hunted me all night.
Yeah.
And generally you've been an asshole.
He does, of course, an asshole. But then,
and she actually looks like properly hurt.
Properly offended by it. And he spoils Mad Men as well.
Yeah, he does. I like that. I can totally empathise with him there.
Yeah. I can't remember how it happened, but he'd been watching Mad Men earlier in
with
the
his
film,
dad, yeah,
with his dad, and he spoils the ending because it's something to do with the main guy in Mad Men being a dick as well, like she is being a dick. And she says to him, "Did you spoil Mad Men for me?"
He's like, "Oh, you're never going to watch it anyway. It's not the point."
Yeah. So, and he kind of says, "What are you doing?" They kind of have this conversation about why is this happening? What are you doing? And she says, "To get whatever you want, you have to recite the verse from the book, the manuscript, whilst dripping a mix of blood of innocent and sacrifice onto the page, and that will give you where your wishes will come true. That will grant you your wish."
And her wish was basically, she says, "I've not always been like this. I want to be strong and confident."
Yeah.
And that's when Cole works out this is not the first time
that this has happened. I'm not the first kid you've done this to. And she comes up with this like plan to say that the others had attacked them.
Yep.
And you get this like flashback of the whole film, but from as if Dee and Cole were being attacked at the same time, which I thought was quite good. But it was
very Edgar Wright bit, wasn't it?
Like
sort of
fast cuts. Yeah. But Cole's not having that. He's like, not a chance. We're not doing that. He sets the book on fire, and Queen starts playing.
Yeah. He sets it on fire and he runs.
Yeah, he legs it to a Queen soundtrack,
and We Are the Champions starts to play.
Yeah, and he goes back over to Melanie's house and he steals her car. Or her dad's car.
Yeah, the muscle car.
The muscle car from earlier on. And he obviously knows how to drive, so you get a bit of a montage of the wheels, hands at 10
Again,
to 2.
it's the fast cuts.
Yeah.
Keys, ignition, rev, bang,
graphics
bang, bang.
come up on screen and things. And he starts racing this car down the road. It gets to 100 miles an hour in about the time it takes to leave the drive.
The house is literally over the road.
Yeah.
It's no way that's happening.
No.
There's a lot of creative license here.
But he hits his ramp that he uses for his remote control cars.
Yeah.
Which was also referenced earlier. There's lots of back referencing in this, and I really like when films do that. There's no like...
I've said this several times. When you set something up earlier...
Make it.
You make a little note of something, and it's... Yeah.
If you stick... Like you say, if you stick by your rules...
It's not a Deus Ex Machina, is it?
No.
It's not something that's just dropped in.
Yeah.
And it sounds silly just saying, oh, it's a little ramp, but... It makes a difference, I think, that sort of
definitely
detail.
The devil's in the detail, as they say. So he hits this ramp with his car, which kind of spins the car into the air, and he crashes it right into his own house.
He does a proper barrel roll straight through the front of the house.
Yeah, completely. And after all the dust has settled, and Coles manages to get out of the car through the broken windows, we find Bea underneath it, and she is being crushed by this car.
Yeah,
she's not in a good way. She's kind of dying.
She's got a car right on the baby maker.
Yeah. Wow. And they have a bit of a tender moment again, because they were friends at one point, and she's now dying. And she says to him, "You never told me your intergalactic dream team." So they go through that, and again, the graphics come up on the screen of who was in it. And he says to her, I loved you, and look what you've done.
Yeah.
You've caused all this. I think he says something about becoming an adult.
He says, he does. Yeah.
I think he says something along the lines of, I'm an adult now because when I realised you were the big bad, I stole a car and crashed it into my house.
Yeah.
And that makes me an adult, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
And she kind of fades away at that point, and the police turn up again. And we're getting towards the end of our film now. We kind of know that. And Cole's kind of outside. He's got a fireman's jacket on.
Yeah, he's sat next to Melanie.
Yeah, Melanie's there. We'll comfort him. And it's all coming to a head, what's happened. And the bully guys are there, the three guys from
they're just watching.
Yeah, but they're kind of respecting him now. They're kind of cheering him like, oh, he's a badass.
A little bit. Two of them are. Jeremy's still...
But the guy looked like Andre the Giant and the other one. Yeah. They're kind of respecting him. They cheer for him at one point.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And Jeremy's not having any of it, and he's kind of still insulting him. And then Cole's parents turn up in their car. And
they run over Jeremy's bike. And his face.
His poor little face.
He was good as well, because he was
really
only
good
in this a couple of scenes. Yeah. But I thought I enjoyed him as well.
Yeah.
He was a good kid actor.
So the parents get out of the car, and they say to him, what happened? And he just turns to the camera. He says, I don't need a babysitter anymore. Yeah. And we cut to credits. And then there's like after credit scene.
Yeah, there is.
I did spot it.
Good. Well
it was
done.
ages as well.
It was, yeah.
Because with Netflix, the camera, it always fades to another trailer or something. So if it doesn't do that, you know
there's something left.
And it was ages. It was like 5 minutes. Yeah. And you get a little post-credit jump scene because the fireman's going into the house.
Yeah, sort of going through the wreckage.
And we get to where B was, but she's not there.
No.
And he turns around and her face is like fills the screen and pounces out at you as she stabs him. And then the film ends. And that's the end of The Babysitter with a sequel tease at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Which we are getting. But the girl who plays B is not in it.
Oh. But I think all the others are coming back.
All of the others are in it, but she's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why.
Recast.
I think she might be too famous.
Fair enough.
What did you think?
This was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's got issues. It is a bit messy, but I enjoyed it. And I don't know if part of that is because we have had some real tripe over the last few weeks, but it was a bit of a breath of fresh air, to be honest.
I agree. I completely agree. This film's right on my street.
I'm
sure you know. It's like
I knew you'd like it.
I love these like comedy slasher films. I love slasher films, and this one took that and twisted it because the people who are normally the protagonists in a slasher film became the antagonists in a slasher film, and it really worked. It twisted it, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I wasn't so bothered about that. I think I wasn't even going on that sort of level. It made me laugh. Yeah, there had some good lines in it.
There was that as well, and it's a lot of fun, and
it was over the top, but it just went for it all the way through.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it is mental, but it is. The deaths are all really creative.
Yeah, because we've seen a couple of slash films, especially in our first series, and we came away. I know we disagreed on like Wish Upon, but there was a couple of others, and we came away and we're just like, oh well, there was nothing in that. There's no inventiveness.
Yeah.
And I know this is played for laughs, but some of the deaths in this are really creative. When John fell off the stairs and went through that trophy,
and then
that was brilliant.
Then Max falls through a treehouse and gets tangled up in a rope and hangs himself. Sonia gets blown up with a firework and some bug spray.
It looked like everyone was having fun doing this.
It did. Everybody looked like they really enjoyed doing it. I think that really comes through, especially in a film like this, like a low-budget horror slasher comedy film.
Maybe McG has found his level, and that's not to be down on this film, but
not at all.
It's fun. Just stupid. It's fun.
I enjoyed this so much. I felt like this film was made with me in mind because it is.
Yeah, I can see that this is properly.
Yeah, it's right up there
for you. But like I say, everyone in it was good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the kids.
The guy who played Cole is brilliant.
Yeah, he was really good.
Really good. He carried the whole thing. And the girl who played B was amazing.
She was very good.
I mean, they're the main two people in it.
But like I say, Robbie Amell, he was
he played
really
that perfectly.
Fun. And yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed it.
I couldn't agree more.
It flew by.
We deserved it. After the last few weeks, we have deserved it. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. If you're into comedy, horror, slasher films, you're going to love it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's not particularly groundbreaking, but as a way to spend 90 minutes, I'd go and watch it. It's fun.
Agreed.
It's really fun.
You got a trivia question?
Yeah, I don't know which one to go for.
I've got two as well because I was scared of what would happen last week. I think I know the one. Shall I do mine first then?
Yeah, I think it was your turn to go first.
I think it is anyway.
I need to fire up my notes again, though. I've shut them down.
I've got two, so I'm going to go with my first instinct. Right near the beginning of the film, they're talking about their intergalactic dream teams.
Yeah.
And Cole asks B for hers first.
Okay.
She has to name 6 people who have been involved in space-style films to have on her dream team. I need you to name me 3 of the 6
that she
chose.
She chose. Sure. 3.
Yep.
Captain Kirk.
Correct.
Captain Picard.
Correct. I knew you'd get this.
Will Smith.
Yeah. Do you know all 6?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Ripley from Alien and a xenomorph egg.
Correct. Well done.
Extra points?
No.
I'm not going to beat the drum too hard, but I just want to say that's 3 weeks in a row now that I have got really well.
You're like nailing it. Just as a bit of fun, can you name the one that B did at the end? Cole did. She named hers, he named his.
Yeah.
She asked him to.
So it was the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Because that was supposed to be the touching bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. I don't think I wrote it.
Did you write them down?
I did for that one.
Oh, damn it.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was Admiral Adama.
Yeah, from Battlestar Galactica.
Data.
Yeah.
And a Predator.
Okay. Yeah.
I quite like that. We should do that for one of our little mini-sodes for the Patreons.
Yeah.
Pick our intergalactic dream team. Don't know why, but it'd be fun.
You could do your 5-a-side sports team or something like
something
that.
like that, yeah.
From sports movies. Good.
Yeah.
I'm happy I got that.
Go on then.
Hang on, I've still not find it. I'm filling.
Okay.
I still haven't find. I know I've written it down somewhere.
Do you want to do my reserve question?
Yeah, go on then.
Fun. No, because it might be your question.
So okay, yeah, good point. Good point.
We'll do my reserve question afterwards.
Do you know when you're looking, you just can't find it? It's in here somewhere. Right, yeah, got it.
Okay.
Can you tell me which movie they're watching on the side of the house?
Oh, dude, you're so horrible to me. It was like a 70s Western type film.
It was.
No, I have no idea.
Well, it was from 1971.
How was it?
Yeah, so good guess. I will give you that clue.
Lucky Joe. I don't know.
Seriously, that's not that far off.
Really?
No, it's not.
That was
right.
a complete guess. That means you're going to take the lead.
It's a movie called Billy Jack.
Oh, that was close. I wouldn't know.
From 1971. So, yes.
How did you know that?
I didn't. I had to look it up.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So, yeah, you've taken the lead. 5-4.
Right. Closed.
Done.
Closed the competition. Yeah.
Do you want to do my other one as
go for
bit
it.
of fun? The big firework that he picked up.
I've got that as
have you got that as well? Go on.
So it was called something dragon?
Fat Dragon.
Fat Dragon.
Okay, so you would have got over question I asked.
Yeah.
So
I had that one written down.
We're getting to...
So I could have given you that one.
We're getting observant because we know what each other's questions are going to come as now. Okay, well done. You've taken the lead.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the stream table?
Yeah, let's.
What sort of area are we looking at on here then?
I think this is the easiest for me. I suspect I might be a bit lower than you, but okay. I think this is one of the easiest decisions of to put something in a stream table in either season that we've ever had.
I know where I want to put it, so that'd be interesting to see where it goes. So the top. So I'll go from the top this week because we've not gone from the top for ages.
Okay.
Hush is currently at number 1. What Keeps You Alive is currently number 2. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot is currently in at number 3. Handsome is at number 4. Michael Inside's at number 5. Office Uprising's at number 6. I don't think I need to go that low, but what are you thinking?
This is for me is right alongside Office Uprising. It's really similar.
Okay, above it or below it?
I can be swayed anywhere around that. I just think they're so similar in terms of subject matter, comedy style. They're both over the top, gory, silly, fun, zippy films.
This one's better.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think I might have slightly preferred Office Uprising.
Wow, we are miles apart.
This is 5th or 6th for me. I was I was gonna be around there.
For me, I'm either side of a different film.
Okay.
I'm either side of Handsome.
All right. Okay.
So I think it's.
Well, that's only like a place.
It's not far. Yeah. So I think it's better than Office Uprising. Definitely. I had much more fun watching this than I did watching that. Oh, really? Although that is a really good fun film.
Yeah, I really like that.
I also think it's better than Michael Inside.
Yeah, but well, it is where it is now. I think on reflection, maybe Office Uprising should be above Michael Inside as well. But there you go.
Maybe. Handsome. This and Handsome are two very similar films because they're the only two comedies really on the list.
Office Uprising.
Apart from Office, but It's the same sort of style.
I'd have them all in a row, but we've messed that up.
Inside in the middle. So it's the same sort of style of comedy as Handsome, is what I mean. It's like zany, quite weird comedy. I think it should maybe go below Handsome in fifth.
So that would be fifth. I couldn't really argue with that.
It's not. It's close between Handsome. It's not as good as The Man Who Killed Hitler and then The Big Foot.
No,
it doesn't break into that top three because that top three is so strong.
Yeah, they are very strong, actually, aren't they?
So strong. So I'd be surprised if we get anywhere near those three. I'd like to. Don't get me wrong. I'd really like to, but and then
this could, for me,
could go anywhere between
4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. This would be fine, and I would not argue with any of that. It depends on how high you want to go.
I want to go fifth.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Like I say, I have this dead level pegging with Office Uprising personally.
It's my sort of thing, and it's right up there in my street. So, happy with that? Fifth?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's stick it there then.
Well done, McG.
Between Handsome, a Netflix mystery movie, and Michael Inside is The Babysitter. That, I believe, only leaves us with one thing left to do.
Sure.
Shall we pick next week's film?
Let's do it.
We do not have the randomizer this week.
For why?
Because, as you know, if you join us on Patreon at www.patreon.com/bottomofthestream and you join the $10 tier, you get given a wild card. Currently, we have 2 people who have wild cards who are not me and you.
I know.
Jordan Shenton from the Grief Burrito podcast has decided to play his wild card this week.
I'm scared.
Wild card. He has selected a film for us to watch, and therefore, going by the rules of the wild card, we must watch this film this week and review it next week. He has picked a film called The Night Eats the World.
Okay.
Now, The Night Eats the World has been on the long list since the very, very beginning.
Has it?
Yeah.
One of the OGs.
It may be responsible for the whole podcast in the first place, because I remember finding this on Netflix and thinking, I really want to watch that, but I need a reason to watch it. Huh. And that's when the idea came about for Bottom of the Stream. It was the first film I ever put on the long list.
And now we're finally getting to it.
And we're finally getting to it, but thanks to Jordan for picking it. So it does look interesting. Do you want to hear the synopsis?
Sure.
So it says, the morning after a party, a young man wakes up to find Paris invaded by zombies.
Excellent.
So we've got some more. I've said zombies again. Was it Office Uprising? One of them I was saying zombies all the way through. Resort. I was saying zombies all the way through. Yeah, I believe it's a French film.
Oh, Jordan likes a French film.
He does. He loves a French film. So, as he has selected that for his wildcard, that is what we'll watch next week. Do you want to watch the trailer?
Sure. Trail me, bitch.
You made it through everything. You probably thought you'd drop dead peacefully in your sleep. And then this happens.
Is anyone here? Hey!
You think there's a cure?
Looks exciting. That's the first time I've seen that trailer.
Yeah, me too.
Like I say, I've had this list on my list for a long time. It's on my own personal list. But I'm glad Jordan selected it, and we will go out there and watch it, and we'll talk about it next week.
I'm excited. Yeah,
me too. So go out and watch The Night Eats the World, and we'll be back next week to talk about it.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.